And we're live.
Hey.
Yes, we're live, ladies and gentlemen. We're live. What day is it exactly? What day is it, says Dave?
It's
Oh.
Tuesday, Dave.
It's Tuesday, Dave.
Dave, it's Tuesday, Dave.
David. Hello, Stream Elements. Always lovely to see you in there. Ray, lovely to see you. And Dave, of course, lovely to see you as well.
Lovely
Hope
people.
we're coming across all right. Hope the sound is all good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. One and all to episode 10. That's like X.
It is.
Yeah, it's the X sign.
Yes.
Episode 10 of the Generation X Retro Gaming Club. Yes, episode 10 for 10 weeks.
We made it. We made it.
Yeah, we made it. For 10 weeks, we've been sitting here exploring all things gaming past and new through the eyes of 100 years of combined life experience.
Well, it's more than 100 years, Clive.
I know. I've lost count. I feel so old.
We have a century.
I know. Welcome to the show with me, your host, Clive Illenden, and
me,
your in the right direction,
co-host, Rokk. Happy Tuesday.
I hope you're well, chat. Are you good? Welcome, everybody. I hope you are well. I hope you've been staying safe, playing games. Do get involved, chat. Put stuff in the chat. Really helps us make the show feel spontaneous and interactive and all of that kind of stuff. So let us know what games you've been playing, any old games you might want us to talk about, and all those sort of things. So without further ado, Adam, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I've kind of been preparing for Halloween, it feels like, or Halloween, as my American friends say, because I've been playing some really spooky games. I've been playing Blair Witch. I've been playing Plague Tale, which is a stunning game. I think it's an Xbox exclusive, but it is an amazing game. And The Last of Us 2. So I've really been getting into the spooky zombie world and stuff.
It's a bit early. For that.
I know. I'm ahead of my time.
Okay. And out of those, which is the one you would recommend?
Well, everybody would expect me to say The Last of Us 2, but I've got to be honest with you. It's disappointed me, Clive. It's disappointed me.
Controversial. You heard it.
I know everybody loves it, and it is a really good game, but to me it's just so repetitive. You basically go to a new area, loot the place to build yourself a Molotov cocktail, kill a few enemies, shuffle on, and in between there's some really lovely cutscenes that kind of tell the story.
Yeah,
you could take the cutscenes and that would be really good. It'd be a nice little movie to watch. The rest of it's just a repetitive grind. For me, the game that I'm enjoying the most out of those three is Plague Tale,
right?
Which is a gorgeous, gorgeous game. I mean, in 4K, it is stunning. It's beautiful. Wow. It's more beautiful, I would say, than The Last of Us 2.
Oh, more controversy. He's really laying into it.
Absolutely. Here. And it has a really emotional, gripping story. It's me. So yeah, I would have to say it's Plague Tale for me. That's the one I'm going back to the most. Sorry, guys.
No, that's all right. You know, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. I sort of slow. I've said it before. I was slow jumping on the bandwagon on this one, and I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a good balance for me of story and grind, and the grind isn't too difficult.
No,
you know, there's loads to do if you want to get well into it, but equally, it's quite easy to find what your next sort of mission is or your next destination in the story.
Yeah,
and detail-wise, it's absolutely on point.
Yeah,
just graphically, it looks amazing, and just imagine the amount of assets they had to build for that game.
Oh. That's Ubisoft.
A lot of big games like that, but it just make you realize. I mean, it just looks amazing. So I'm really, really looking forward to Valhalla now on that one.
Yes.
I also played Crossfire X
Hmm.
on the Xbox. This is brand new to Xbox. It's a piece. So they revealed it. Xbox revealed it as part of their sort of third-party exclusives, which is a
Right.
bit weird because it's an existing PC online first-person shooter developed by a Chinese developer called Smilegate, and it's basically sort of a CS:GO. You're a team of 4 against a team of 4, and it's sort of defend the flag sort of thing, or plant a bomb, defend the bomb. And there's 2 different levels to it. It's not that sort of complex. It's not blow away, not mind blowing, but it's a really competent. It's in 4K. I think it's 60 frames per second. It's got a real sort of, you know, the sort of modern arcade machines look like they're really powered by like a really high powered PC. It's got that kind of look to it, that arcade game sort of PC, high spec PC game look to it. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed
What's it called? X?
It's called Crossfire X.
Crossfire X.
Yeah.
I'll check
so,
it out.
As I say, it's Chinese developer called Smilegate. It's a sort of PC online game. Not two sort of different versions of the game. There's one where one team is the defenders and the other team have this tech that makes them invisible, but they only have knives. So your idea is to go around and kill the defending team by stabbing them. They've got guns, but you're invisible.
Right.
And you just see a slight shimmer, you know, like in Predator, in the film, you know, you see there's a slight shimmer, even less than that. And so you've got to really keep your eye, if you're defending, you've got to keep your eye out and you think, I think I just saw a slight shimmer go past. And you sort of shoot in that vague direction. But otherwise, you could stand, if you're in this sort of invisible version, you can almost stand right next to the person trying to sort of stab them and stuff. That's quite an interesting twist on it. But other than that, it's a sort of a first-person CS:GO type
and it's
thing.
not,
But it was a lot
available
of fun.
on Game Pass. I'm just having a look.
No, it's free.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
On Live Gold, Xbox Live Gold,
but only if you've got an Xbox, so it's not made its way across to PC yet.
No, it's a sort of I think the X bit makes it
is literal.
The Xbox bit. It's a console exclusive.
It basically looks really good though. It does look really good.
But it does look slick.
Yeah. Nice.
You know. And of course a lot of PUBG I've been playing, of course. But what I played this week was in the arcade section, the 8v8, which is deathmatch. So a team of 8 versus team of 8, first to 50 kills. You get killed, you respawn straight away. Tiny kind of map, and it's a lot of fun. You should play it on Rockstars at Night or something, because just 8v8, you probably get enough people to put a squad of 8 together.
Yeah, but if it's Xbox, we'd be a bit stuffed.
No, I'm talking PUBG now.
Oh, it's on. There's an 8x8 on PUBG.
Yeah. It's in the arcade section. It's team deathmatch, 8v8.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Definitely. Of course, the other game I've forgotten all about that everyone's been playing except the public is Crater.
Yeah, not me.
No, I know you didn't. You were too slow, mate. You should have got in there early. You just need to say, "Can I have a copy?" You'd have been in.
Begging both.
Well, I know, but it's free, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it's free. It's free, isn't it?
If it's free, you get it, don't you? That's been quite good. That's been interesting.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. That's tomorrow, then, isn't it?
Launching tomorrow, 8 a.m. probably.
I'm nervous
BST.
about building.
It's, I can't lie, and I'm not going to. It's complex.
Yeah.
If you you can drag and drop scripts, but even then, you've still got to kind of know where they go, and you probably will have to edit them to a degree. And you're very limited to what you can do creative-wise just using the controller. But as I pointed out in that little video I did just before we went live, if you only play the games in there and the games that the community are going to be creating, you know, I mean, there's about 7 or 10 of them there right now. They're really good.
Yeah,
and there will be within days dozens more.
of course.
So if all you do with it as a free
Yeah.
pro game is play the free games that come with it, it's great. And you have the option, but there is no inbuilt tutorial. There's no support stuff in there. You've got to go and watch videos. And frankly, it's not for anyone that's going to struggle with. If you can't put a website together now, you're going to struggle with Creator because it requires, to a degree at least, an appreciation of somebody else's code.
Yeah.
And that's being upfront about it, but it's a baby version of Unity is what it is.
Yeah.
And on that basis alone, there are limitations, of course there are, but I think it's breakthrough in terms of the power that it puts in people's hands, compared to Minecraft, Roblox, Dreams. I think it goes up another level.
I think it'd be interesting. And there are so many Roblox games, so it'd be interesting to see what people can do on that. Quick shout out in the chat there, poor old David Handley. Ouch. Wow. I hope they warm their hands.
And I hope they were wearing PPE as well. I mean, you wouldn't want to be doing that without
being in hospital full stop.
No, not at this moment in time. Feel for you, buddy. I hope you're okay.
Get a cushion.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so there we are in the chat. Let us know what you've been playing. We always love to know. Jerome's said he spent almost 100 hours on Assassin's Creed. Wow. Anyway, put in the chat what you've been playing. It's always good for us to know, good for us to react to. That's good. But this week's show, wow. So we're going to have all the latest news from around the gaming world. On this day in history, that's your cue. That was Adam.
Oh, was it? Sorry, mate. Listen, I haven't read the notes. I've
scripted you out to give you a bit more, then I say
on this day in gaming
memories, aka the generation game, and you say
much more.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful rendition there. Right, so finally, let's get on with the news, shall we? I'll kick it off. So this is just sort of a random thing I bet people didn't realize, but Fortnite here. Not Fortnite, Clive. God, what are you going on about that for? Trust me here. Fortnite is finally leaving early access. I just think that's quite amusing. Whenever my son boots up Fortnite, it still says, beta early access on it. And I always kind of thought, when are they going to finish the game? Why is it constantly, early access? So the history of Fortnite is that originally it was Fortnite Save the World, which is, a sort of a zombie fortress type game. So you battle against zombies and build up your sort of fortress and stuff like that. And it was a paid game. And then they jumped onto the back of the popularity of battle royales, realizing that PUBG kind of built on their own engine, their Unreal Engine, thought we could do that, and adapted Save the World and added what we now know as just plain Fortnite.
Right.
But they carried across the early access tag that was on it, on the Save the World bit, and it's been on there ever since. So now they're finally going to finish Save the World and take off that tag, and they'll do the same to the normal Fortnite game that we all sort of know and love and hate. But yeah, so I just thought it was interesting that came out in 2017, Fortnite Save the World.
Yeah.
And they're finally removing the...
So what have they done differently to that now establishes it as a fully baked?
Nothing. I think they just kind of realized it was left on there.
Someone went, oh, I'm sorry, I meant to take it off 2 years ago.
They say here, exactly. Nobody noticed. They say the quote here is, Fortnite has always been in a constant state of evolution since we first began development. And so much has changed over the years as we've played and developed the game with you. As we near the 3-year anniversary of Fortnite and Save the World's release, so this is the Save World's release, which was sometime before they decided to do a battle royale. Well, I say sometime, about a year or 6 months, like that. We wanted to share an update of our development plans. Today, we're bringing Save the World out of early access and have decided it will remain a premium experience rather than going free to play. So you still have to pay for it.
Right.
Development of the content will slow down after this official release, but the adventure doesn't end there. So they've tweaked a few things, added a few things, and then basically they're also going to take off the early access label off the main Fortnite at the same time.
Right.
So there you go. A little bit random, really.
How bizarre.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
Very bizarre. Anyway, just thought it was quite interesting that that's finally coming out.
I spotted that one as well. It's quite odd, isn't it? But
right.
The ever popular Fortnite, you can't knock it for it, can you?
Okay, here's then holographic.
Yeah, so this was interesting. So although this is in development, this comes out of the Facebook labs where, now you probably all know that Facebook bought Oculus a short while ago, a couple of years back, clearly with their eye on the potential of VR stroke AR, and that included hardware as well as software. Now, what the article suggests is that these quite bizarre Men in Black looking glasses are actually a working prototype of a holographic lens that they've developed, quite unique. And it allows, I can't actually see the article, let me click on a link here, but basically what it allows is a fairly wide view screen covering the eye at a very high resolution as well. And it uses lasers, apparently. Not sure how that works with that tiny amount of space. But although it's very much in the kind of MVP, the minimum viable product prototype type stage, I think they're quite serious about developing something like this. For me personally, I still think that until glasses are developed that allow me to either have lock off into VR or have them expose the world so that I can have a kind of AR VR mix.
Like an augmented reality thing.
An augmented reality with the option of VR, which of course they could do if they used, you know, that electric glass that you can flick on and off, so you can polarize the glass.
Yeah.
You know, flick a switch and it passes a current through, which makes it opaque. Turn off the switch and it becomes transparent again. So, you know, for me, that's where I'd like to see the tech get to, so that you can have that the best of both worlds, because then you can be playing your Pokemon out in the street, see all the little characters on the park and stuff and all that kind of malarkey. So, you know, that's kind of where they're all getting to. But yeah, I thought this was interesting. I think I'm right in saying that if you looked carefully at the recent PS5 launch, they showed a new version of the Sony PlayStation VR headset. Now, I happen to know from talking to people in the know that that's a substantial increase in terms of resolution. The original VR headset, which I've got up on the shelf behind me, only had 720p in both eyes, which was blurry as anything, very pixely. Anything in any kind of distance when you were playing a game would be just these massive blocks. So, you know, it needs to be a minimum of 4K with each eye. So, yeah, that's what's coming up. I think that's coming up on the new Sony PlayStation VR headset. Plus, I think they've managed to do away with a lot of the cabling because a lot of it's built into the PS5. So, yeah, but what these guys are doing is interesting out of the old Facebook labs. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Funnily enough, no pun intended.
Ridiculous. Very good. He's always there with a pun.
He is.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Like okay, I'm streaming news. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we'll... So Dr. Disrespect, one of the biggest streamers on the Twitch platform, has been permanently banned. Now, the weird thing about this is that normally when somebody's permanently banned, there's a lot of discussion about why. And in this occasion, nobody seems to know why, not even Dr. Disrespect. He said in a tweet after about 24 hours or so, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind the decision. firm handshakes to all the support during this difficult time. Dr. Disrespect. And as I mentioned yesterday in his last stream, he sort of, there was something weird at the end in his sort of, just in his demeanor and the way he just signed off, which is odd, saying, oh, we'll get through this, guys. We'll get through this, guys. And then he sort of swore and then ended the stream. Yeah, so it's very strange. And his wife came out, who's known as Mrs. Assassin. Mrs. Assassin came out and said, you know, thanks for all the support for everybody from the Champions Club, which is his sort of what he calls his club, his Twitter fans, Champions Club. Thanks for all the support and love and all of that. We appreciate it as we go through this particular, you know, this time. All Twitch have said is that there's, you know, they always look at where there's been a violation of their terms and conditions, and they take action, however big the person is, blah, 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 blah. So it's a real mystery. Obviously, there's lots of speculation, but, you know, it could be a legal issue in terms of he's breached one of his, you know, he's signed exclusively to them. Was he, you know, courting somebody else in terms of, you know, being attracted to YouTube? There's rumors of maybe Ninja Shroud and starting a new streaming service and all of this kind of stuff. And then the other side is, at the moment, there's a sort of a big Me Too moment going through the, well, through gaming generally, but Twitch especially. I mean, you look at the developers of Ubisoft. There was a senior creative designer for Valhalla stepped down because of accusations of sort of part of the Me Too things going on, and so Ubisoft sort of suspended him for a while. So there's a lot of it happening. So obviously, and in Twitch in particular, there is some speculation that something like that may have gone on. But it's odd that his wife's come out and said, you know, it's, you know, they're standing together and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, normally it's all over the Twitter sphere what's gone on, and usually these people come out and they say what's gone on, and you know, they don't shy away from yeah.
PR.
But this is all a bit sort of.
Did you
strange.
see the final? Did you see his final stream then, Clive? Or was
yeah,
it just,
I did. I went and watched it.
Was it so? It was kind of, they hadn't pulled that essentially. They just kicked him out.
No, he finished it, and then the announcement was made, or it became apparent. I don't know how. Yeah. And they didn't say why, other than where, you know, the classic, wherever there's a violation of terms and conditions, blah blah blah. There's plenty of people being suspended, you know.
But he's actually been banned, though.
But he's been permanently banned.
Yeah, yeah. So whatever it is that he did, they clearly felt that it was too extreme to simply say, naughty boy, come back in a month.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's plenty of people who've done worse things. Well, we don't know what he's done,
we
but
don't know what we didn't know exactly.
Stuff that's, you know, sort of, yeah.
And he's definitely done something. This isn't him just kind of trolling us.
No, because Twitch came out and said it.
Right. Okay. Because I've seen the Brime thing kicking around, and a lot of people have said, yeah, you know, there's no real substance to that.
I don't think so.
No.
There is another site, you know, a streaming site called Trovo.
All right. Trovo.
And it's owned by Tencent.
Right.
I only discovered it today. So obviously it's really
silent
massive.
Giants, aren't they?
Yeah.
They really are.
What they favor, though, on that is it's full of people who play mobile phone games. So the mobile version of Call of Duty or the mobile version of PUBG.
Right.
It's not exclusively mobile phone game orientated, but given the market that they sort of are in initially, there are a lot of skillful players, PUBG mobile phone players on there and stuff like that. And the front end of it is a complete rip off of Twitch.
Seriously?
The layout and everything. Yeah, they haven't, like, you know, like, it's like, oh, that's
Chinese for you.
Exactly. That's good. Just do that. We'll have that, please. And no imagination other than that. It is like completely the same. But they are incentivizing people to go on there. You get 100. Apparently, the guy who's talking about it, you get like 100 followers. You get $100.
Wow.
Yeah,
but you've got to hit a certain level.
I looked up I looked it up, and they were sort of saying if you if you stream consistently for a period of time for 8 days, whatever, that's like a tier 1, and you qualify for some money. They're basically going to give $30 million to partners over the next 18 months to attract partners to the platform. This is them coming out. So they putting these pretty low-level incentives. So in terms of, I say low-level, I mean they're low-level to reach.
Yes.
Incentives.
Yes.
So you don't have to have 1,000 subscribers or anything like that. A lot lower than that, and you'll start earning money. They'll give you financial rewards.
That's fascinating. I've put a link in the chat, guys. Trovo.live.
Trovo. I only discovered it today. I had no idea. It's very,
it's a good find.
very interesting.
It's interesting. It's in beta. But as you say,
But they put 30 million.
It's the same format. As we know, Tencent bought all, pretty much, well, certainly the majority of Asian game streaming sites. They're now pretty much it as far as game streaming is concerned. So it's not a huge surprise that we'll start to see them moving into the West, as it were. And I know Resurrector, who's probably, I don't think he's in tonight's chat, but he dug up a game that they had a trailer that they've been building, which looks pretty huge. It literally looks like Cyberpunk, Clive.
Yeah.
It's that kind of scale. Did you see the trailer?
Yeah.
It's
another sort of clone thing.
You know, this is kind of an MO, isn't it?
Seeing a pattern.
Let's see what's happening, and we'll clone it. Which, you know, worked. It works.
Anyway, there we go.
Very interesting.
Check that out.
Very good. Thank you for that.
Right. Digitizing your dog. Explain.
Yes. So this is interesting. This is a bunch of British boffins, you know, based at the University of Bath, and they've come up with a solution that allows you. I'm hoping it's as simple as using your mobile phone to essentially digitize your pet and then whack it into your games. So I love the idea, and I was thinking, because there are games, of course, where you do have a pet, like Elder Scrolls Online, where you've got a little pet, and it wouldn't be fantastic if you could, you know, digitize Rover or Tibbles and actually have them as your pet, which would be amazing. And that's what these guys have done. They've created some easy mocap, as it's called in the trade, motion capture, to digitize your pet, and presumably lots of other things as well. And I've seen static motion capture, also it's not motion capture, static 3D capture apps for iPhone and Android, which actually are amazing in what they do. And you can take a kind of panorama shot of your room, and then it gets uploaded to a site, and you can move around it in 3D space. But these guys have gone a step further and enable you to capture the movement of your pet. So once you've got that information, you can obviously then whack it up into your favorite game. Just imagine ESO with your actual pet, or maybe your wife. You know, I mean, whatever takes your fancy.
Well, as your pet.
Why not?
Okay. We're going after hours again, aren't we?
Your neighbor, yes. Your boss. Boss, just stand still while I take a film of you for the company brochure.
Get revenge. Take a secret photograph of him or her in the office.
Just spin around. It's for the website. You'll be fine.
And then put them in your game.
Yeah.
I'll get revenge on you.
So yeah, that's coming to an apps near you soon.
Coming to an app near you. Very good. Right. Okay. Next in the news. Okay, so there's been more rumors about the Project Lockhart from Xbox. So I've talked about it on here, that there were meant to be 2 big announcements this summer. One, all the games, and one would be announcement, obviously, of Xbox Series X. A bit. And the announcement of this other next-gen offering, which is codenamed as Lockhart. Well, it seems that there's more stuff about this, and this time it's from Tom Warren, our friend at The Verge. And you know, we've had some run-ins with Tom, but generally he's pretty accurate, especially on the Xbox
pretty good,
stuff.
actually.
On the Xbox stuff, he's pretty good. And he's been saying, I've been reporting Oxpec Lockhart having a slightly underclocked CPU, but now I believe it's the same speed as the Series X, just different GPU frequencies and CU counts. Whatever. So the idea is it will be a cheaper option, so that they have the premium option, which is the Xbox Series X, and then a slightly lower spec, although not that low spec according to this, at a slightly more affordable price, which suggests that the Xbox Series X might be quite expensive. They feel they need to put in a mid-tier level. But it seems this Project Lockhart is an actual thing. So it's just interesting whether when they'll announce it.
Yeah, well, they've got another reveal coming up shortly, haven't they? Early July. Xbox.
Yeah, they have.
Which I think they said they were going to go through pretty much everything. And I guess with PlayStation showing off the discless PS5, so it's a digital only version. You can absolutely imagine that Xbox have got something up their sleeve to that extent, and Lockhart could well be that, of course.
It says here, Xbox, Phil Spencer told GameSpot that it might release additional next-gen Xbox SKUs, and this new console, reportedly codenamed Lockhart, may be among them. He says, obviously in the name Series X, it gives us freedom to do other things with that name, so that we can create descriptors when we need to, which, according to GameSpot, is all but confirming that there will be multiple next-gen Xbox consoles coming.
But not necessarily at the same time as the initial launch.
No, but the rumor is I think they'll go and this will be available as an option. I don't know.
What would you imagine there would be a typical, because of course the history of all the Xboxes are that it's X this, X that. There's an X in there somewhere, and I struggle to remember the variety of them. But Series X, what else could they put in that as a descriptor? So if it's Series X,
no, they call it Xbox Series S.
Oh, you think it's literally they drop the X?
Yeah. So you've got the Xbox One X now, top of your range, most powerful console on the planet, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Then you've got your Xbox One S, which upscaled. It played 4K, but didn't render in 4K, but it would display in 4K and upscale to 4K.
Right.
So slightly more powerful than original, not the original, but the Xbox One. So Lockhart could well be the Xbox One Series S. So it's the Series bit.
Gotcha. The Series is the bit that sticks.
I think so.
And then it could be X something.
So you know it,
Like the Teslas do, in essence. Yeah.
Anyway,
interesting. Yeah,
so
very interesting.
It seems based, I sort of, despite, little Twitter spats we've had with Tom, he knows. I think he does have sort of a bit of an inside.
He just loves to troll Stadia, let's be honest. I don't think he means it. He just has fun with it.
So everybody jumped at him.
Jumps at him and he's like,
said something slightly wrong.
Exactly. He just loves
Stadia
to play
pitchfork types alike, aren't we?
Us older chaps don't fall for all that stuff, do we?
Yeah, I was the one having a go at him as well.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I invited him round for a cup of tea and a digestive. He never came.
Yeah. Just having a look at the chat. Yoshida's handing out the
cups of tea.
Sushi cups of tea.
Is that green tea she's got
for
going
David?
On there? It looks
more
like
green tea.
Yeah.
He's got to watch what he's eat at the moment.
Don't we all?
It's nil by mouth.
Oh no!
Poor old David, isn't it?
Where's he putting it then?
Well, it's going to come straight through, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Wow. Just
Anyway,
lick a lolly, mate.
yeah.
That's all you can do.
Right. Next one. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The news keeps on coming.
Yeah, we are
Crisis.
final.
What?
So Crisis, probably one of the most popular games amongst gamers, I'd say, and it was used.
There's PC Master Race.
Yes, and of course it's always been kind of used as the benchmark.
Yeah.
For a high-powered rig, or it used to be.
Normal rigs can't play it.
Yeah, absolutely, you've got to have a really powerful rig to play Crisis. Now, they have, and it was always rumored, but it's now looking like it's definite. They'd actually remastered Crisis. I'm assuming Crisis 1, because there's a couple in the series. I think I've got 3 on my PC. And they're launching it this month. In July. I think it's July the 23rd.
23rd, yeah.
It's coming out on just about everything.
On the Switch.
On the Switch. And what's fascinating...
Boys on the Switch.
I know. There's no mention of an STA in there anywhere. No. But then, no disrespect, but it seems that the MO of Google is not to have people announce that they're bringing a game out for this particular platform, so we don't know. But what we do know is it's definitely coming out on PlayStation. It's coming out on the current gen consoles. It's coming out on Switch, and it's coming out on PC. But what's fascinating is, given what we know about Crisis, which is ultra high definition textures and ultra usage of graphics, it's actually a relatively small footprint in terms of file size. I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, it actually says it fairly early on in the article. But it's not huge. It's something like 8 gig. We'll compare that to the 30 gig of the latest Warzone download.
Yeah, patch.
The patch. And there's another one coming out soon, which is another 30 gig. That's quite amazing. So whether they've toned it down in order to make it work on the Switch, for example, I don't know. But that is what it says. So one to look out for. But it is anyway. I don't know if you've ever played it, Clive. It's a great game. Great fun game. Third person. It's essentially a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
But it's in the kind of Killzone. We're mentioning Killzone, but kind of Killzone-y type genre. There's a bit of a story to it. You've got kind of a suit that gives you superhuman augmented.
That's what it says.
Yeah. So you've been in. I can't remember the detail. You've been in an accident. You're a bit like old Lee Majors, the Bionic Man.
Oh yeah.
Steve Austin. You've been in some kind of accident, and
we can rebuild him.
We have the technology. And so you come back and you can leap tall buildings and do stuff. But it's a really great game, and it pushed the boundaries at the time in terms of kind of high resolution detail in the foliage and stuff that gets the techies really excited. So that one's coming out very, very soon. 23 days and a couple of hours.
Yeah. It's funny that, talking of low file sizes, that Crossfire X is only 5 gig, which is like, compared to, I mean, it's not full. I mean, it's 2 levels effectively, but even so, it's like 5 gig.
I think you know what, when I mean, this taking it back to retro, but if you go back and see what people achieved when all you had was 1 meg and and a 1.2 meg disk, and you literally they spent so much time optimizing stuff back then and squeezing the last ounce out of what space there was. I think these days, with 60 gig downloads and terabyte drives, although there is a heck of a lot of optimization, I kind of feel that it's maybe not as optimized as games could be if they were forced to be in a very much smaller footprint.
Yeah, I agree with you. Right. Okay, so that, ladies and gentlemen,
a lot of news for your money.
You double check. That is a lot of news, man. That's a lot of news. We're giving you a lot of news. We're giving you value here, chat. I hope you appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Xbox really do have the silliest names. Yeah, well, when you break down PlayStation, like we take it for granted now. I mean, I think you mentioned this before, didn't you, Adam?
Yeah.
When you stop and think about it, PlayStation, it is that kind of mashing of Western words by the Japanese that I've said before. No disrespect, Yoshida. That doesn't sound quite right, but it does. It works, but it doesn't sound quite right. like the Super Try, which I know is not really Japanese, but they had tried to achieve the same effect where you just sort of have to stop a minute and go, that's not how you describe dry, something that's super dry, would you like? But it works. It's acceptable. I've got you can't find a dictionary that says that doesn't work. And it's like that PlayStation. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, when you stop and think about it, and we take it for granted now, but it's just like PlayStation.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Anyway,
quite weird.
So Xbox, Xbox sounds kind of Xbox. You know, I love my Xbox.
Yeah, and we're episode X.
Exactly, episode X of the Generation X game. Anyway, so there we go. Before I rush forward like I did last week and miss out a whole section, which was a good one, really. Never mind. We now come to that part of the show that we like to call This Week in Gaming History. I've got a little small smattering even.
Got some smut, did you
say?
Smut.
I've got some smut. Some smut. There we are. Sorry, my finger slipped. The sound is gone. Sorry, guys. Oh, my finger slipped.
Well, you can't keep saying that. Poor little David, he's had fingers slipping all day long. That's the last thing he wants to hear.
Yeah, good job I'm not your consultant, David. My finger slipped twice. Whoops. My finger slipped twice today. Good job I'm not your consultant. Jesus Christ.
Cool.
Sorry, we're talking.
His eyes are watering.
Yeah, Mariko's just texted me no sound. We've got the sound now. Catch up. We're in the back. Thank you. Right, let's do that again just for everybody. Right. Pretend it didn't happen. You didn't see anything here. Move on. And now we come to the part of the show we like to call This Week in Gaming History. I've searched the archives and jumped into the TARDIS, punched in the year 1987 to bring you this. Now I can go to the article in question. Right. On this day, this very day in 1987, in Japan, Outrun was released for the Sega Master System.
Was it?
Yeah, and this is. Did you? I know you didn't know that, did you?
No, it escaped me.
Yeah. Right. And it's, as I say, it was one of the titles that, released in Japan, and then a year later in America, and then 6 months in America, and then a year later in Europe. Back in those days, that's how it used to happen. But yeah, on June the 30th, 1987. So there we go. Sega Outrun, the granddaddy, the father of all good arcade racing games. But interestingly enough, if I hit the fast forward and go 12 years after that, just for a bit of fun. Driver. Who remembers Driver on the PlayStation?
No.
Do you remember that?
I don't
Driver
remember.
from GT Interactive. That was released on this very day in 1999. So that's you play a sort of like a getaway driver type thing in that. So again, an arcade racing driving style game, street racing. You do street racing and stuff like that. Anyway, that released on this day in 1999. But there's more. Oh yeah, there's more. It keeps on coming. Oh, then we get back into the TARDIS. Straight to 2006 this time. Flat Out 2 was released on the PlayStation 2. Flat Out 2, another auto racing driving game. And that too was released in this country, in the UK, on the 30th of 2006. Another arcadey type action driving game. So there we go. A sort of a little hop from arcade racing game, starting with Outrun, up to Flat Out 2 over a number of decades, all released on the same day. David Handley saying Drive was really good. I think I remember it. I think I remember Driver.
Yeah.
I certainly remember the Getaway on PlayStation, but yeah, the Driver. So there we are. And just for everybody's benefit, I came across this interesting little history of, since we talk about it, I'm going to put it in the, if I can, clever here, I'm going to put it in the, so there's a museum in America.
Add the H to the front, folks.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Don't worry, I've got it. I've got your back.
Yeah, edit that. Yeah, so there's the Museum of Play in America here, but on their website, they've got like the video game history in a very sort of simple but easy sort of way, you know, right from the 40s. Here, Cafe Raid Tube amusement device, developed by Thomas Goldsmith, right through to, you've got the 60s. Look at this, 1967. Ralph Baer develops his brown box, not an Xbox, ladies and gentlemen, not an Xbox, a brown box. Oh yeah, you think the Xbox is a silly name? It's literally called the brown box.
Good year, that, Clive. I'd just like to point that out. It was an excellent year for individuals.
Yeah, well, exactly. Why do you think I've gone to 1967?
Yeah, very, very good year. Very good year.
Lovely year. Good vintage. Ralph Baer develops his brown box, the video game prototype that lets users play tennis and other games.
Well, that was the Pong then, wasn't it? That was the original Pong.
Yeah, so he developed the concept in 1966. Then he built the box in 67, and it's basically the prototype.
Wow.
And then he patents his interactive television game in 1968. 4 years later, Magnavox releases Odyssey, the first home video game system based on his designs, which has those sort of Tennessee type things. Look at that, Odyssey. I wonder what that's worth if you've got an Odyssey.
But that actually, if you look at the little screens on the side of that box, assuming they're not augmented by an artist, that actually looks pretty advanced.
Yeah, the little tennis sort of game.
I mean, that's several colours.
It looks like a hockey game.
Yeah, does look like hockey.
Yeah, and then, of course, that led to, in 1972, Pong. And then the Atari releases just their straight Pong machine.
It's the guy in the Oregon Trail that scares me.
Yeah.
Come here, little boy. It was the scientist in Police Squad. Whoa! It's got the guy in the Oregon Trail living in a wood cabin. It looks like he's programming there. Like he's like, I've got this.
Dad, can't get the internet. Leave it to me. I know what to do.
Yeah, the problem is your raccoon's got his tail dipped inside the back of the machine, mate. That's your
the
problem.
raccoons got him bitten through the wire again, boy.
So
We're gonna need an
funny.
Ethernet cable, boy. Yeah. And there we are, 1977, the Atari video computer, which is probably the what definitely have the memory of.
Yes.
And of course, it's got the little wheel thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the paddles. God, I wonder if you can still get those. I'd love to have one of those.
Well, there we go.
Not a pretend one, a real proper working one.
Yeah.
This is an ambition.
There we are. Wow. Yeah. I bet they're collector's items though.
Oh yeah.
So there we go. I just thought I'd share that little with you all. Little website. It's quite interesting. Just looking at the history of computer gaming and stuff.
Brilliant.
Right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for 64K of memories, or the Generation X game. Who didn't know I do well? Each week, Rokk and I battle it out with the game from our distant past. Yes. And we ask you, the audience, you, the chat, wherever you are, there, here, everywhere. We ask you, the chat, to decide which one gets the win, which game loses a life. So, Adam, why don't you kick it off this week with what you've got packing, baby?
So this week, Clive, it's a little bit different because I'm not going to go back as far as we've gone back in recent shows. No. I'm actually only going to go back 6 years to 2014, which was the year that Bungie released a little game called Destiny 1, although it was only called Destiny in those days. Now, Destiny was, Bungie, if you remember, were tied to Microsoft, and they produced the early Halo franchises, and then kind of decided they wanted to go off and do their own thing. So they hatched this concept of a kind of a groundbreaking RPG meets MMO multiplayer, kind of difficult to box idea. I saw it from the alpha. So I think it was E3 where they did a reveal, a slightly dodgy demo of the game, which I think in hindsight was almost certainly a mock-up, but it looked amazing. So I signed up for the alpha, did the private beta and the public beta. Absolutely knew this was going to be a game changer. And for me, it certainly was. I bought it day one, and probably for me, it's what got me into what I would call my current state of gaming, which is pretty much all-encompassing. My addiction to gaming came from Destiny. Well, 3,500 hours of Destiny I've put in over the years. Although it's fair to say it dwindled come Destiny 2. But certainly Destiny 1 was absolutely it for me. There were some early issues. A lot of it was in the kind of time that it took Bungie to patch things and communicate to the user base. And then they dealt with that. They dealt with it extremely well. I think it's a case study actually in how you build a relationship with an audience. And it's still, I mean, Destiny 1 still exists. Wow. If you've got a copy of it, or you can get one, you can still play on the old servers. They're still going. I've still got it. And I'll be honest with you, I jump into Destiny 1 and I still have more fun than I do in Destiny 2 these days. Yeah, come the end of Destiny 1, for me, they had perfected it. They got everything was right with the game, and if ever a game didn't need a sequel, it was Destiny 1. For me, what I would have loved to have seen, and I absolutely understand why they moved to Destiny 2, because they were constrained. When they brought Destiny 1 out, they had to make it work not only on what was then the next gen, i.e. the PS4s and the Xbox X. Not only did they need to work on those, but they also had to bring the PS3 and the 360 along with them. So they were constrained in what they could do, and they needed to shrug off the old gen of consoles and embrace the pros and so on and so forth. And we now know, of course, that in September, I think it is, There's a big new add-on for Destiny 2, and that I think next year we're probably looking at Destiny 3. Bungie always said that it was a 10-year franchise. They always said they would kick it around for 10 years. They managed to break away from Activision, who were their publisher. So they did a deal coming away from Microsoft. Activision obviously plowed a load of money in, and that enabled them to release the game. It actually did amazing sales. I think it had 500 million in sales dollars on day in the first week of launch of Destiny 1. It was a huge success. So but they've managed to explicate themselves from Activision, so they're pretty much on their own now. And they've made some mistakes again recently, but then again they listen, they care, and they do try to make amends. And I think the future for this franchise is still strong. So we're where are we? We're 6 years in. So Destiny 3 would, if they stick to their 10-year franchise, would be it. That would be the end. I suspect that we'll see it become an online. It'll be like an online living world, like Warframe. I think that's where they will go to, and probably even with Destiny 3, to be fair. And I think that they will.
Do you still think they're going to do a Destiny 3? Because they said they weren't. They've got the next 3 years planned out.
Yeah.
Just.
I don't think it will be Destiny 3. I think they will move to a cloud gaming based version of the Destiny universe, and that will be the next iteration in its evolution and the final resting place. So at the moment, for the foreseeable future, it'll still be available on disk, still be downloadable, installed on your hard drive. But I think that as we're moving more and more into a cloud gaming universe, that's the future of Destiny. So it's an exciting game, and people still massively love it, more than I do these days, I have to say. But
September 14.
I'm sticking to the 2014. That was the Destiny one, and that was my favorite. So that, my friend, is
it looks amazing. Even that, I mean,
you never played Destiny 1.
Yeah, massive anticipation for this, because it was huge. Big Bungie's first big game after Halo, and Halo was felt like such a game changer in terms of what could be done and what could be achieved in those sort of first-person shooter type things. It was, so it's like what are Bungie doing next? And it was. I mean, they're even like Destiny 2. They're just really well made games. I mean, I'm absolutely on board with the Destiny 2 idea that it's really confusing. There is so much to do. But I told you that I played a bit of Destiny 2 on the Xbox. It was my son and his friends, and I went up to my son who'd been playing it, and I noticed he hadn't cashed in anything because he didn't know.
I've seen.
And I said to him, why don't you go and see that guy? Because I don't know how to do it. Why don't you go and see that? So I said, you go and brush your teeth, get ready for bed. I'll sit here. And I was literally going.
He came down. It was 300 levels higher.
Yeah, he went up. He went up 50 levels, like power levels in that time almost.
The problem is they made a decision after they broke from Activision to allow to make the base game free to play. I think it was the right thing to do, but the implementation wasn't great. So they released what was called New Light. And in order to get players up to a level fast, you kind of skip through most of the story. You can play it all, but you don't have to, and it's not obvious how you do it. If you play Destiny from the beginning, you were led by the hand through everything. So if you were an early,
that's what
player,
I like.
Yeah, and it made such a difference, Clive. And I've literally played with people who the same as you and your son, who have discovered Destiny in the later Destiny 2 years, and they get fun from it. But when you say to them, "Did you know this? Did you know that?" No, because it isn't obvious.
Even going to see Amanda Halliday.
Yeah.
Like that, even that basic thing, you start off your stories, and then if you do the stories in the wrong order, which you shouldn't be able to do, narratively speaking, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Because you think, well, he died. She
know,
wasn't.
I know.
Well, you know.
And there's you know, there's so much that there was so much that happened in Destiny 1, which, you know, you're not going to know about when, and yet it carries through Destiny 2. And the raids in Destiny 1 were legendary. I mean,
Yeah.
they were just amazing. And if anybody ever did the raids in Destiny 1, we had the Vault of Glass, we had Crota. They, you know, I mean, they still are some of my most favorite gaming memories, the
Wow.
days and weeks that we play with friends, and they were accessible. With Destiny 2, they introduced mechanics that are quite hard to master, lots of memory games and stuff that, you know, it kind of went beyond me. And I haven't done, I think I did one of the very early raids on Destiny 2. I haven't done any since, because they moved it up a gear, beyond, you know, what I consider myself, which is I do a lot of gaming, but I'm a fairly casual gamer. I'm not a, you know, a pro in any shape. And I feel they kind of moved it up to that level with the raids. So they sort of differentiated between your basic PvE content, which is everyone can do this, but if you're a super elite, you get to go and do the raid. Whereas it was more accessible in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
And
Some raids you can't do
you
without
can't,
like a crew.
yep,
And there's
decent gear.
one of Oscar's mate was trying to take us through, and it involved jumping on certain platforms in the right order. And you needed three. There's one you had to open some gates. You needed a team of 6 of you, and you had to open the gates in the right order. And then we realized after 5, because I didn't know what was happening. I was just saying, what's, you know, asking his mate, what's happening? What's happening? And they goes, oh, after about 10 minutes, oh, we actually need 6 of us. It's like, brilliant. Just wasted. I could have been grinding here, wasting my bloody time following these stupid kids around.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, they have fun. But anyway, that's Destiny for you,
Destiny
mate.
1
Will always have a
is
special place in my heart.
Yeah, clearly we can see that. Destiny 1 is Rokk's choice, ladies and gentlemen. Consider that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the jury, I'd like to present you with my game. Not as famous, but I like this game because of the story concept, but also the gameplay. And I shall play the trailer for everybody. Here we go. Challenge everything. Create chaos, leave a nation leaderless, kill our enemies, and bring to Earth through communism the greatest peace man has known. And I love this opening sequence.
Play the game.
Anybody know what this game is? It says in the corner, actually. Oh, it might be hidden by the Retro Gaming Club. I'm going to stop it here because these little marks above their head are important. Okay, this game is Freedom Fighters. And basically, it's an alternate history. I don't know if you've seen The Man in the High Castle on Amazon Prime or whatever, Philip K. Dick novel, which again is alternate history in which the Germans win the war and then have a pact with Japan and they split America. Sort of one part of it is ruled by Nazi Germany, the other part is ruled by the Japanese Empire. And then there's some sort of spies, and all that kind of intrigue. Anyway, this is the same sort of thing. So this is an alternate history in which the Russians have basically effectively dropped a bomb on the Germans in the war. They've won the war, become a power in Europe, and then basically invade the US. So you effectively become a sort of a guerrilla sort of terrorist, trying to overthrow the Russian rule in the US. So so far it's so straightforward, and that's the key thing. But what I like, so it's by IO Interactive, so the people behind Hitman and stuff like that. I love the story concept. I love the cinematic feel of it at the time. That opening sequence with the submarine sort of coming out the darkness, you know, it felt, I mean, looking at these graphics look awful, but at the time it felt really cinematic to me. But part of it is you recruit people and you see the little lightning things above these people's heads. You will get, say, a gang of 4 or 5 people together. These are these are computer characters. They each have different skills. So there might be an explosive guy. And then with your controller, not only are you doing your third person shooting stuff and blowing things up, but you would direct where you want your buddies to go, your character buddies to go. So you think, okay, I need the guy with the big gun to go over there and defend that corner. So a couple of key presses and boom, your character that your computer controlled character that you've picked with the big gun goes over to where you've sort of pointed to go and sort of fires grenades or whatever, rocket launches at the enemy, or there's a person who's a bomb disposal expert or whatever. And I just love that mechanic. So it's a third person shooter, but you're also controlling a gang that you've sort of collected and collated together. And I just really liked it. So here you can see they're sort of following him around. And you can sort of say, you can sort of select a character. There we are, tell him, go over there. So it just played really well. I love the story concept and just the way that you could control these, the game technique or the game design of being able to control a team of people that you're with. And it just really captured my imagination. So there we go, Freedom Fighters. Let me just have a look at the, bear with me here. I'll give a bit of background history for it, so you know. I think it was on the I think I played it on the PlayStation 2. So it's by the there we are, by the creators of Hitman 2, obviously IO Interactive. It had great music to it. So here we are, the Soviet Union become a world superpower by dropping a bomb on Berlin, ending World War II, propping up communist states, and then they go and invade New York. So that alternate history kind of stuff. The console version's multiplayer revolves around securing flags and bunkers. And, 4-player split screen. I forgot about that bit. But the key thing here is that you do various deeds, and then you can control. The more deeds you do, the more charisma you get. The more charisma gets, you can control your squad mates' characters and recruit up to 12 of them. Tell them either follow, attack, or defend. So quite a simplistic system, but you go, right, go over there and attack, or follow me, come this way. And it was just a sort of great gaming concept that I really liked. So there we are. Freedom Fighters is my game of choice.
Very good.
So there we go. Chat.
So the one thing that really got me was that scene at the end there where they had the Statue of Liberty's head in the sand, which reminded me of my favorite film, Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There's lots of shoutbacks to sort of, films and hints. Yeah, as you would imagine at that time when the games were kind of highly influenced by film.
Yeah.
Now films are highly influenced by games, oddly enough.
Yes, that's true.
But there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Make your choice. Let us know which you think. So let's put D for Destiny, F for Freedom Fighters. Vote now, or forever hold your peace, and we'll decide who wins. So we've got right, Chase, good there. Chase is going. What a creep! He's going with you, Rocky. Oh, man,
he's a massive Destiny fan.
Yeah, he is. True, true. Creep.
He loves a bit of Destiny, mate.
Ray sure is going Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, you got him. You got
DDD. What do you DDD? You can't.
Well, that's just helping out a bit. That's all.
Okay. You just have a look at the chat a minute. I'm just trying to fix something up here, see if it'll work. Oh, look. Do you know what, ladies and gentlemen? It's worked. Happy days.
While you weren't looking, there were 45 Ds.
Yeah, I'm looking now. F,
oh,
D,
right, okay.
D. I think D's. So one, Freedom Fighters. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and Stadia's 1, 2. You voted yourself. That doesn't count. 2, 3. Live. So we're 3-3, I think here.
Oh,
can you see the chat there? What do you think of that?
That's very good. What I want to know is where's Yoshida's vote?
Yeah, exactly.
See, I mean, you know, mate, you got to get some loyalty in this relationship.
Oh man, none of that. She's an independent person with their own rights and mind, with her own thoughts and actions.
Krampus, how dare you? Tell you what, this has been the most controversial one. We don't normally get this kind of action and activity.
Oh, Ray, you voting twice?
Oh, he sneaked in, that little Ray.
Silly Stellius has gone D. He's pulling it back. Krampus has gone for F.
No, Stellius is your man.
Okay, so 1 D there, 1 F.
Oh, here comes Yoshida. Here she is. She's
thank you.
Oh, see that? See, why did I even mention it?
Yeah, see, well done, Yoshida. Well done.
Why did I even mention it?
We need to keep the chat up, don't we? There. Let me just. Do you like that chat thing?
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's really cool. So, so what have we got then? Have you got a tally? Was it all out on your fingers? You would have run out of fingers.
But I forgot which hand was which.
Oh no!
This is F. This is D.
I've just had a quick count. It's definitely D by quite some majority.
3, 4. I'm getting 4 Fs, and then you're getting. Don't count your D.
All right.
No, 5. I got 5 Fs, and you get D.
Yeah.
D. 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 I'm getting 4 Ds. And Chase's D's 5.
Oh, that's a draw, my friend.
Another draw.
Another draw.
Okay.
Let's call it.
Well, we'll do that. Call it. Let's call it a draw. I wanna get the chat thing up again. I think I've set it so that it disappears.
Oh yeah. I think it automatically does that, doesn't it? After a while.
No, you can set it
okay.
Not to disappear.
Don't you I've seen you doing it in there twice, David Handley.
Yeah, we're going to call it a draw. It's another draw, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Another draw. I didn't think not many people would go for the old.
I don't remember it, but I do like the look of it, though. I have to say, it would have been a game I would have enjoyed.
It, and it really captured my imagination.
No, Destiny's not everybody's cup of tea, so that's fair enough.
Right, here we are. Always show messages. Save settings. Boom. There we are. That looks good, doesn't it?
Wow.
That's instant. I've just done that from Streamlabs right now. Just clicked a button. There we are, chat. So this bit. So now we've done that. This bit is called Game Chat Time. A new section I like to call Game Chat Time.
Have you got an impression? How would Frank Spencer say that?
It's Game Chat Time.
Brilliant.
Betty.
It kind of went a bit heavy breathing down the phone at the end, mate. But
yeah, but that's what he gets. Betty.
Oh, very good.
Anyway, it's not impression time. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed the show, guys. I hope you like this little section at the end, seeing your chats up there. Looks quite good. I'm very pleased.
Oh, I thought there was going to be more to that feature. I was waiting for it.
Well, there is, but nobody's chatting.
It was an AMA or something.
Nobody's chatting. Ask a question of chat. Ask us a question. Ask us game related.
Yes,
you can.
Or any relation, really.
Or any relation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get chat going here. Very good, guys. Thank you, says Lively of Gaming, of course. Gamerman, DF. You can't do DF. I've told you that before, Gamerman. Stop sitting on the fence.
It's too late, mate.
Painful.
It's been
Ask
called.
David.
It's been called. It was a draw, and a worthy draw.
FLDY. Very good.
Come on, chat. Give us a question. Otherwise, this feature is likely to be its one and only run out.
I've gone all this effort. Do you know, I designed this half an hour before the bloody broadcast. That's kind of work I go into this.
I know.
Even the graphics at the top, getting the chat appearing in that 8-bit style.
Just imagine when he gets his hand on Crater.
Oh gosh, exactly. I can only fit so much in my big brain at once.
Well, it looks like chat's not that interested
in
the question tonight, Clive.
That's
to be fair, we've had a long one.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with us on Game of the Year. Good. Okay. Predictions. It's probably going to be Cyberpunk, isn't it? If they even get it out this year. Probably already won Game of the Year in people's minds.
It's going to win hyped Game of the Year. I'll give you that much.
We did Paper Mario Stadia Krampus. You should have been there a few weeks ago.
Yes.
That was my game of choice. 1000 Year Door. Love that game.
Will GTA 5 ever come to Stadia? That is a good question. I'm not convinced.
No.
I don't even know that GTA 5 will ever come anywhere, frankly. Judging by how much money they're making out of their GTA Live, I don't think they need to.
No, there's some rumor they're not planning to do it until another good couple of years.
Yeah.
They'll just do the on-live thing.
What console stage did they overtake the arcades? What console? Oh, okay, I know what you're saying. So in other words, at what point in the generation of consoles could we say the graphics are at least as good as what you'd see in the arcade? I mean, I would have thought the current generation, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
I think we're already there. I don't think there's a game that you'll see in an arcade that can't be reproduced on the current round of certainly not on PC. Certainly not on
arcade game. Not that I'm an expert. The arcade games mostly are on rails.
Are they?
In terms of the gameplay, because
Ruby
obviously you need a short period of experience. So there's one where you jump into a Jeep and shoot.
These are the top results.
Oh, not you again. Jump into the Jeep. There's one where you're like just firing at giant.
Yeah, they're very linear.
Dinosaurs and stuff. Yeah, so you're on a linear path. Yeah. So that means, I mean, they have to graphically make them quite fit on a large screen, quite high fidelity. But I've not really seen anything. Yeah, they don't spend a lot of time on them, quite frankly. But then I've not been to Japan, and they have more choice there.
Yeah, but they're designed for short bursts anyway.
Yeah, like motorbike games or driving games. I mean,
they're designed for you to spend a quid and then die, so you put another quid in. Yeah. So you don't get the longevity.
5 seconds quick.
Yeah,
Put a coin in again. Yeah.
Yoshida, I have played Apex. I think I've played them all at some point or another. But I don't remember it very well. I think I played it when it came out as a beta and was quite impressed with it.
I don't think it came out as a beta. They just dropped it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
They dropped it like nobody knew about it.
Within days, it was there, wasn't it? And it was huge.
Yeah, they just said, we've got a game coming out.
That's right.
And everybody thought, oh, they've been working on Titanfall 3.
Yes.
Here it comes. And they went, no, here's a game and it's free. Off you go. And everyone's like, what the flip?
Titanfall's a definite generation game. That's one I want to put. I love that game.
Titan, yeah.
That's an amazing game. That's a future one.
It was like Double Dragon Slaughterhouse was the golden age of arcades. Yeah, they're not the same.
I've never been an arcade fan myself. I don't like giving anybody money if I can avoid it.
No, but I take the kids to the penny arcade, and there's always the arcade. I tell you what, actually, Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh, what, the big arcade machines?
Yeah.
They're just jumping about on the...
Not just jumping about. There's a pad. And you've got to hit the pad at the right time.
Yeah.
I bought the PS2 version, a plastic pad you could roll out.
All
in
right.
your own front room.
Did it work?
So that when I went to the arcades, I could do it. This is as an older man. I remember then taking my daughter when she was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 to the arcade and going, come on, let's have a go at this. And then because I could do it quite well, you'd get a little crowd of people around going, there's this 40-year-old bloke, because that's what it was then, 40-year-old bloke doing Dance Dance Revolution here, and he's really good. I was thinking, yeah, he is. Because secretly I'd practiced in my 30s.
It's all right for a svelte-like gentleman like yourself. When I get on, the bleed machine breaks, and there's a voice at the back going, "Get off!"
There was a documentary years ago.
I think
it was on what was BBC Choice, which became BBC Three, about this kid who was obsessed with Dance Dance Revolution and entered like a tournament. So he used to save all his money with his mate. Wasn't that well off. Go to the local Hyper Bowl, Super Bowl place, you know, the bowling place with the arcade and stuff. And they had Dance Dance Revolution in there. And then he used to just play it all day, and he got really good. And then he went through sort of some regional championships, and then went to a UK national championships. And he won a competition or got in the top 3 to then go to Las Vegas for the World Dance Dance Revolution stuff. And then they closed down the arcade. And so he had nowhere to practice. I'm glad you're laughing at the story and proud of this.
And I was that child.
Yeah, but then he kind of knew the manager because he was there all the time, and the manager says, all right, I'll let you in to practice like a week before. So they let him in, even though they'd closed the arcade bit down. They let him in. So and also sort of downloaded the latest version because they had to play the latest style. And he practiced and practiced and practiced because it's about repetition. I think it was on the Spectrum somewhere, so he was kind of quite like good at this sort of thing. Yeah. Practice and practice, practice. Went out to Vegas, and he reached the final or the semi-final, something like that. Yeah. And there was some controversy where he ran out of one of his foot things, his foot pad, so when he puts it down, wasn't registered, but he swore he hit it. And sometimes the machine misses it, you see. Right. So, you know, they sort of got a data report and they went through it, all the stuff, but they said, well, the other guy won, and he was absolutely livid and furious because he said, I'd hit the mark. I hit it bang on. The machine didn't register it, but I hit it. And so he got runner up, and they didn't change the results. They just said, well, it says the machine made a mistake. They admitted the machine made a mistake. Yeah. And he said, well, do it again. And they wouldn't do it again. They said, no, the results stand now. The other guy won, you didn't. But we know the machine did make a mistake on yours. And so after that, they said, but if it ever happens again, we will
give you your money back.
We'll change the rules, so we restart. And his name was his gamer tag was K-Dogg. So they named that rule the K-Dogg Rule.
Oh, right.
And so there's this thing called the K-Dogg Rule. The K-Dogg Rule, which applies for Dance Dance Revolution World Championships.
Wow.
Named after this guy from Nuneaton or Leicester.
Yeah, who's now a manager at Aldi.
He probably is a manager at Aldi or something like that.
He cuts a mean dance.
Yeah. There we are. You see, I'm full of useful information that you don't know
Amazing.
about.
Amazing.
One day, maybe as one of our retro streams, I'll get a Dance Dance Revolution out, you know, like the Just Dance, but I'll do a Dance Dance Revolution retro style on the stream it on the Generation X.
Yeah. Why not?
Gaming club.
For charity or something.
Yeah.
But raise a few quid.
There we go.
Sounds
there
good.
we are, guys. That's it. And on that bombshell, on that note,
you've had your money's worth. Get out of here.
You've had your money's worth. Big time, ladies and gentlemen.
The arcade's closing.
as long as the Zoom meeting I had this afternoon. Jesus.
Oh dear. And
All
happy
right.
birthday to my daughter.
Yes, of course. Yes, happy birthday. I hope you had a good day out.
Yeah, she's had a lovely day.
That's good. Clive needs to have his own historical fireside chat. Telling gaming stories. Just these random things that stick in my head. Can't remember other things.
I can do it too. What do you want to know about? I don't know nothing about K-Dogg, but I could tell you.
The K-Dogg Rule. I had a friend, I think he, where I used to work, and his name was Carl, so I used to call him K-Dogg.
Oh, right.
He never knew why.
Yeah.
K-Dogg.
I bet he never stuck to the rules though.
Yeah, never. Well, he did, but it just didn't register. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us, watching through. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the show. So it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
And it's a farewell from the Generation X Retro Gaming Club, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you and good night. See if I can find the end card. There it is.
Yeah, that awkward moment.
Yeah, that awkward moment. Goodbye, everyone.